are friends that are from better schools than me. We don't study together.
Z equals R to the power I theta.
I'll be lying if I say I'm not inferior to them.
我是怕我学的比较慢一点，连他们骂我，我是怕我什么都不知道。
Words of affirmation are everything.
And the length is 2 times that of
When your parents tell you you're good, when friends say, "Wow, you're really good," I think I didn't get that.
我输在了
起跑点，
但是追求完美变成我的推动力，
但我还是抵达了终点。
但我找到了人生的意义。
Alright, can I have everyone to look over here first? Stop, stop, stop. Eyes on me. You do not need to follow exactly how she does the top. 我叫梁心儿，我代表新加坡和 ID 去 London 比 World Skill Competition， 我拿到金牌 Under Beauty Therapy Trade。我小学的时候 actually 是每年都 pass 不了课的，没有过50分。从小比较喜欢玩耍、跳舞，真的是没有想到要读在这样高。
梁心儿出生蓝领家庭，中学念普通源流班。她自认从小没有什么志向，到中学快毕业才意识到成绩不好就没有前途。
我爸爸想要我去读 computer， 可以赚到钱。I know you can do better than this. You see how？ 小时候每次吃饭的时候，叔叔跟阿姨就会讲：“你们读到哪里啦？你们现在考试考得怎样啦？”叔叔讲到他的女儿，就是我的表妹，讲到很厉害呀，可以做这个做那个，我就开始 compare 了。我也不想毕业了，中学毕业我就出去外面做工。我怕不是因为怕会输给别人，我是怕我什么都不知道。
Before we start the game, right? So you all know your groupings A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah. This one is very fun, right? You're okay with smelling the stuff blindfolded? Okay. 我叫李克祥，今年27岁。慢慢关定。我还需要1年多，毕业后就会29岁。Okay. Is it yeast? What yeast? You guess yeast 啊？小时候的态度就觉得很好玩，喝了那个 Chicken Essence 啊，人家是用来去考试，我是用来去玩游戏。PSLE 成绩就得的150，就去了 ND， 去做 IDE， 还有去 Poly， 但现在是在大学。
柯想上有哥哥姐姐，是爸妈最小的孩子。他小时候喜欢打电玩，妈妈没有阻止，更没有要求他科科第一。
他最爱的电脑，我一进来他就假装关掉咯，但是他以为我很笨呐，我就摸一下还是烧嘞。当朋友问，哎，你的孩子读完 PSLE 上哪一间学校啊？然后我说 Normal Tech 咯，我不会羞耻的说Normal Tech 咯，哎呀不要问啦，我不会，我很大大方方的讲。我大姑的儿子是读 RI Raffles Institution， 我从来不比的，因为我有很多周围的朋友，孩子考试他们拿甲期，拿了98分不可以，要拿100分，我不要给这种压力。
不过妈妈也不是完全不担心。
Monday you don't go school 啊
？No Monday.
他在科想中学快毕业，不能进初级学院，只能进公益教育学院的时候，介入了一次。他怕儿子不懂得打算，随波逐流，没有个人目标。
我就问他一个很重要的一个问题，就是说，等你长大出外赚钱，你会用哪一个部分去赚钱？头脑、嘴、手脚啦。
我的回答，头脑就是最适合我的。
头脑我就讲好啊，那你就去读航空电子。
Starting from Z here,
他根本不知天高地厚，我必须要问他，我必须指引他。如果没有问他这个问题的话，他肯定会跟随他的朋友，然后他的人生我也不知道了。
很美。美吗？我是陈嘉轩，今年28岁。
I learn from you. So nice. Everyone's so nice, 那么美。
My friends also said that I'm actually quite good at communicating with elderly. I like to make a fool of myself. I like to be fun.
Just slowly.
So I think the elderly really appreciate it. Then I realized actually I really interact with elderly quite well. I think I've done about 10 years of volunteer experiences in Chinatown. I started volunteering for Dr. Neo right after my O-levels. There were a lot of students coming to volunteer as well. They come from elite schools like Raffles Institution, from Hwa Chong. And I think I had very severe imposter syndrome. I felt that I wasn't good enough. Like if there was someone who had better grades and better standing than I do, then why would Dr. Neo choose me?
嘉轩中学念普通源流课程，自小成绩差，主要是他患有注意力缺陷多动障碍，难以定下心来读书。
The running joke will always be, I'm always chasing to be the last. I'm first from the last. I still remember, beside my classroom was, I believe, the gifted education program class. They are potential, dentists, doctors. There was one time that I forged the report book. And my teacher found out about it, called my dad, got a cute scolding, and of course caned by my parents. But it was always this fear that I don't want to disappoint them. I didn't share my grades with Dr. Neo. I think I didn't mention that I came from normal academic stream to Dr. Neo. Even now, I think she doesn't know, so I didn't mention it.
小六会考那一年，嘉轩的妈妈把他留在家自己教导，每周只回学校上几堂课。在中学教数学的妈妈为了他停职1年。
Okay, so what is your next step?
Divide by 3.
You cannot divide by 3.
She understands how the system works, and she wanted to ensure that I had that sufficient foundation to climb.
输在起跑点，更是不能留在原地。担心走上错的路，担心来不及为人生的挑战准备好，担心再怎么努力都摆脱不了输的命运。他们开始寻找属于自己的羊肠小径。
IT 的时候，我是觉得 is now or never。
讲实话，如果真的没有那个机会的话，我真的不知道我会做什么嘞。
梁心儿在普通源流念到中3、中4的时候，害怕成绩太差无法升学，感到前途茫茫。她接到一个消息说，公益教育学院简称公教院有一个美容课程在招生。她从小对美甲有兴趣，报了名又前往面试。
听人家讲爱第一是否那些不会读书的人，我没有什么affect 到我真的很想要进那个 course， 所以我去涂指甲油在我自己的手上。很多人只会用一个手来涂，我 train 我的另一个手来涂另一边。 面试的时候，我给他看我的certs and all that 的时候，我也是顺便给他看我的指甲。老师是讲很美，你涂得很美，但是我们这行不可以留长指甲，然后不可以涂指甲油，你可以吗？因为我从小不是很会读书，所以我就觉得好像什么都没有这样。到了 ID， 难得有机会给我去学我喜欢的东西，我应该去。我很喜欢看自己的指甲美美，但是 beauty line 是 more on doing services for others。讲实话，我是 OK 的。
以前对学习没有热忱的欣儿，到公教院得以投入自己的爱好，突然间找到一股动力。
在 ID， 我开始 mature， 第一次懂老师在讲什么。我觉得，我是突然觉得好像很聪明，这样学得很快的那种。我喜欢做的东西，我应该做得很好。如果做得不好，我会觉得我做来干嘛
？27岁大学生李科享比同届的同学多耗费4年，从公益教育学院、理工学院再进入大学。同学之中有名校或高材生，多少让他因为落后而感到焦虑。
There are friends that are from better schools than me. We don't study together. 觉得 need to have thick skin to go and approach them to study together. 觉得他们很厉害。I'll be lying if I say I'm not inferior to them. But I must understand that 我自己有自己的 goal 来去strive for。
科享对自己的理解是，没有一条人生路是一模一样的，他必须通过较长的过程去寻找自己的路。他中小学对念书不感兴趣，反而进了公教院，才发现了自己的兴趣和志向，要往电子业发展。这股动力一直延续到现在的大学。
Slower learning process, right? 可以帮你 mature 你的想法 and then this gives me like understanding people's experiences and try to learn from them. I feel like I have more purpose in what I'm doing now.
Sorry, I never take into account the shape of move.
17岁参与本地低收入家庭的援助事务，程嘉轩通过基层工作发现，自己不会读书，却有别的强处。
With ADHD, I always needed an avenue to express my energy. And with grassroots, you can do quite a lot of things with the resources on the ground. So, be it helping the elderly, buy groceries, you can design your own program.
这些活动也不错，不错。
Really allowed me to expound my energy and to allow me to be who I am today.
嘉轩2019年创办一个非营利组织，以青少年为对象，经常到大专学府办活动。病情影响嘉轩的课业表现，中学是普通原留学生，会考成绩一般，申请理工学院的理想科系，积分不够，要念本地大学又不被录取，不得已只好到国外升学。
I think I experienced a lot of heartbreak and disappointment from my bad grades. But what I found in volunteer work is purpose and also being able to make a difference to lives. Community work actually saved me.
嘉轩的组织为邻里中学的中3生办活动，这些孩子学业成绩不是全国顶尖，但他相信每个人都有自己的价值和意义。
We're really going to be focusing on digging into your problem statement.
嘉轩将这些学生和显壳公司等知名企业联系起来，启发他们思考自己的未来。
ManAccess is a social mobility non-profit that provides career exposure opportunities for disadvantaged students. You can level the playing field and allow neighborhood school students to rise up and provide more resources and opportunities.
我们谈环保啦这些，他们都很熟悉。想要 impart 什么给他们，我觉得就是价值观啦。
我想让他们知道的是，如果你有梦想，你有想法，应该有那个勇气来说出来，然后执行。不要觉得我还没有资格，或者说我没有那个水平。我觉得想做就去做，对得起自己。
当年，公益教育学院给了梁心儿一次机会，代表新加坡去参加一场重要的国际赛。
想到很多东西啦，觉得我自己不够好啦，为什么我没有进步啦？什么 negative 的东西都已经在我脑里面了。
到前麦波森公益教育学院念美容专业。梁心儿毕业时夺得了那一届的第1名，因为成绩优异，老师邀请她参加世界技能大赛的美容项目比赛。这项国际赛要先闯过新加坡和亚细安的区赛，才能到伦敦比国际赛。比赛的备战时间可长达1年，心儿放弃到企业实习的机会，有时一天训练长达10个小时。
我越 train， 我越想要跟人家比。We are training towards perfection。
以前读书从未赢过，心儿第一次强烈渴望胜利。
Vaccine 那个时候我没有进步到，想到很多东西啦，觉得我自己不够好啦，为什么我没有进步啦？我真的很生气，什么 negative 的东西都已经在我脑里面了。很多 coaches 就会来跟我讲话，让我 let go， so that 我可以 move forward。
当年的队伍包括理工学院和公益教育学院的代表，角逐美容项目的只有心儿一个人。
不是因为别人讲 ID 不好还是什么，我是觉得我已经是在 ID 了 ，so why not just prove to the whole world that even if I'm in ID， 我还可以拿到 gold。那个时候我也是有听到有人讲 ID 没有拿到 gold 过。如果没有拿到，我可以做那个第一个，可以 try hard 一点，然后就 push。
Hi guys, we are here at the final stage of ACE。
学业成绩不代表一切，在漫长的人生旅途中，任何阶段都可能是迈向成功的新起点。程嘉轩希望通过适当的介入，鼓励普通的中学生看到自己潜在的实力。今天是活动的最后一天，由孩子来汇报成果。
Most of the families come to Shell for a lot of reasons.
One solution to encourage more cyclists to come to Shell stations is to have a bike lane.
And you can park your bike and add more accessories.
And at that time, we felt that it was important for students who come from disadvantaged backgrounds to go through career exposure programs.
The thing is, this sustainable aviation fuel, they come from the seeds of plants that are grown in special salt water.
Any questions?
And that gives them confidence and aspirations, because then we get them to think about what's next. And that is very powerful.
When I grew up, I desired to be a doctor. Two of the most important tips I picked out were, you must make yourself presentable, be more confident, so that, other people will take you seriously. If you go up and just, think it's a joke, or go up just because you are forced to go up, people won't take you seriously.
我也想做一个更有自信的人，以后跟别人沟通的时候会更顺畅。
My takeaway from my own struggle is there will always be light at the end of the tunnel. Strive for small wins. I think small wins are important, especially when you're lost. there will always be something or someone that will be able to take you out of the situation.
大学生李科享有过一次经历，遭遇困难还能把持信心。他参加大学的龙舟队，这项运动是从10几岁就开始的。22岁那一年，科享代表淡马锡理工学院参加龙舟赛，强烈感受到信念的重要。
那时候我跟人家说我是从龙舟来的 ，Hello， 哈，你像龙舟咩？你不像龙舟队，这么小，你这么瘦，为什么你可以去龙舟队？
他们的理工学院已经11年没有赢过。那一次，他们突围了。
That is my proudest moment because nobody thought we can do it. Doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense, but 我觉得是很 proud moment because you beat their negativity. When I got the first medal, I just came out on shore and then 我跪下来 ，Thank you. Like nobody 我跪下来吧，我是觉得终于了，终于。This kind of resonate with me, like dragon boating and my life right now. How I've went through ITE, how I've went through poly to get where I am right now. We want to work towards an impossible goal.
Success to me is not the final success. We are still able to grow and learn more and to be the best that we can.